Fuck Apple. Let's protest. I'm just kidding.
Boom. Says a brand new iPhone user owner.
Yeah, apparently I got scammed.
We'll see about that. Anyways, we're back. Welcome everybody. Fast Track Feedback Fridays. If I sound a little weird, it's because I'm a little bit sick. So apologies in advance for that. But it looks like we've got a few of you in the queue. It's
And in the
wild,
chat, what's up?
and yeah, in the chat, it's Wild Boars. Good to see you there. I think we've
What's up,
got
piggies?
your submission possibly.
Do we?
It's
We
Wild
got
Boars. What's your artist name? Because we've got one in there that might be you. I'm not sure.
we have Fish Memory, or let me go the other way. Doc OF, Reg Mason, Gowie, Jokerhead, Maine, Ace and Deuce, I Am Jet, 111 Night Shift, Fish Memory. No bores here, but you know, yeah, maybe one of them is you.
Mango or M4 and Go.
Mine's
I assume
the
it's Mango.
111 Night Shift. What's up, Mango?
Sick. Yeah, that's what I thought. Wild Boars is Fish Memory. And we just got another one submitted from Zeno, who's also in the chat. What is up?
Yo, what's up? Yeah, just submitted. Welcome back.
Good to see everyone. So I don't know if we've had all of you in the queue before. We've got a good mix of people from previously and new, but
Yeah,
we
holy shit.
give you feedback on your tracks, as you could probably guess.
Oh,
We use a little bit of a format that, oh god, that's right down there. We go through three categories to kind of be comprehensive about like your track as a release, and then we give you a total score. If we really love your track, if it's like the best shit we ever heard, or it really stands out, you'll get featured on our playlists on our Instagram, which is up in the header there.
boom.
And that's called top tier track. So that's just on the track total scores. The rest we kind of give a percentage between, and we try to give detailed feedback because that's what's most useful for actually making music, not just knowing somebody's opinion on your track.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you want to get reviewed and you're already in the queue, we get to every song that's submitted. We do them in order, and we usually get through like 5 to 6 tracks because again, we spend time listening through the whole thing and listening, giving detailed feedback. If you want to jump to the front of the queue so you get reviewed during this stream and not next week or after that, there's a tip link in the chat. Just tip us $5 or more, and you'll get skipped right to the front, so you'll be reviewed immediately. Otherwise, hang tight, watch the show, sit back, enjoy,
Yeet.
and we'll give you feedback in order. So that's what
Yep.
we do.
Gotta be fair, right? Gotta do it in the
Yeah,
order people submitted.
first
So
come, first serve, unless you tip. That's
yeah,
capitalism.
yeah, man. And some people have deadlines, you know. So we got Doc OF, Reg Mason, Gowie, Jokerhead, Maine, Ace and Deuce, I Am Jet, 111 Night Shift, Fish Memory, and Zeno. So that's 10 people in the queue. Crazy. Shout out. But yeah, like we said, we only get to like we end at 7:30 Central, so we get through like 5 or 6. So if you're after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Ace and Deuce, it's like ooh wee. Might want to use that tip if you really want to hear us feedback right away. But yeah. Anywho, cool. All right. So without further ado, I guess we can go to the first song.
Well, also just a precursor for folks that are interested in getting
Yep.
reviewed faster and all that kind of stuff. We're also building the queue system here into our own platform that we're building, which is called
Yes.
FastTrack.studio. The link is in the chat there. You can sign up for the beta of our platform, which is to help you like manage your projects and find collaborators and find people to get feedback from that are professionals in the music industry, not just us. So there's a whole lot that we're working on there. But the first thing we're going to do is bring the queue system so you can see where you are in order and tip to skip and submit your tracks, all that stuff. Get notified when we review you.
It'd be
That's
so cool.
coming very soon. So stick around for that. Sign up for the beta if you want to get updates and all that.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Literally, if things go right next week, but
yeah,
literally,
things go right.
yeah. Like sign up, guys. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
very
crazy.
soon.
Cool.
Yes,
All
sweet.
right. Enough blabbering. Let's do the music.
Let's do some songs.
But yeah, we got a work in progress. We do work in progress and finished releases here. We got For You demo by Doc OF. No project description. So we'll see what the SoundCloud is. Oh shit, it's a SoundCloud link. So sometimes we've been having trouble with SoundCloud. So let us
It's
know
been
if
okay recently, but yeah, hopefully, if there's any
yeah,
issues, let us know.
yeah. Just let us know if the sound sounds weird. But yeah, otherwise, like feel free to give feedback to your peers in the chat too. Like we love chatting with people. So you ready, Josh?
Yep, let's do it.
For You demo Doc OF 3, 2, 1. Gorilla shirt.
Yeah, I know. I don't wanna
Drum
be
bass.
the one who is
It's kind of muddy.
chosen. Yeah, I
Nice vocals.
know. You were standing still, man. I think you were frozen. You don't want my
Yeah, that bass is
love, you
fat, bro.
found somebody else. And that's your loss, who caused it? Yeah, I know. I don't wanna be the one for you. I don't wanna be the one for you, but me, I wanna fail on you. You say that you want my love, but you broke me. What should I give you? One more. This is time is money, so why should I waste it on you? Yeah, I don't get it why all these girls are the same. All they wanna do is break you.
Break you. What?
Yeah, I know. I don't wanna be the one who
It's
is
very trippy
chosen.
red or Juice World type.
Yeah, I know. You were standing still, man. I think you were frozen. You don't want my love, you
Timing's a little
found
bit off there.
somebody else. And that's your
Kind of
loss,
pocket though.
who caused it?
I'm
Yeah,
hearing some real mismatch.
I know.
Sure, sure, sure.
I don't wanna be the one for you.
I feel like the vocals are quiet compared to the whole
I
beat.
think that kick bass 808 thing was coming in too early.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, I know.
Really catchy melody
I don't
though.
wanna be the one who is chosen. Yeah, I know.
Or no, it's like
You
the
were
vocal
standing
is at a
still,
faster
man. I
tempo
think you
than
were
the
frozen.
track
You
is.
don't want my love, you found somebody else. And that's your loss, who caused it? Yeah, I
Way
know.
off.
I don't wanna be the one for you.
Wait, which part was way off?
Dude, the vocal is like not synced to the rest of the track like at all.
Nah, I
It's
don't know.
really
I think
bad.
it is.
So focus on the beat and don't listen to the vocal, and then you'll realize how off the vocal is.
I heard a mismatch there, and I definitely heard like it's a little off the grid. It's some in some places more so than others for sure.
Yeah, it's not everywhere, but it's
Yeah,
definitely like certain places. I can't tell if you just put the vocal like on the track and it was at a different tempo originally, or you tried to stretch and skip. It's like something weird's going on there.
I don't know if there's processing. I think it might just Zeno donated $5. Thank you, Zeno. Appreciate you.
Hey, let's go. So Zeno, you will skip to the front of the queue.
Going, going,
From
going.
the back to the front. Nice.
Damn, bro, we up. Started from the bottom.
Yeah. If anybody
Be,
else wants to also get to the front, Zeno setting that good example. The
be
link
like
is in the
Zeno.
chat there.
We love Zeno.
$5. Yes.
But yeah. Anyways, what is it? Doc OF. Okay, yeah. We're talking about the timing. Um, yeah, I was trying to give it a benefit of the doubt because there's a lot of genres in hip hop nowadays where they take liberty to try to well, some artists do try it like deliberately to like get out of the beat a little bit, and then it's a thing called like pocket, like it's off the grid, and it's like getting more aggressive in some genres. Something like what is it called? Plug and B, for
Yeah.
example. They
Plug
go
and
like
B.
yeah, it's called Plug and B.
What
I
is
guess
that?
there's like an artist that's named DJ Plug, I think,
Oh.
with two G's, and then R&B, and it's like a specific style of rap where they just fucking I swear they like try to just rap ahead of the beat like so fucking far.
Hmm.
But
Interesting.
like after listening to it for a while, it's like you get into this weird pocket where it's just like, oh wow, like this is crazy. So I was trying to give it the benefit of the doubt from that perspective, but I feel like it was just outside of
It wasn't
pocket.
consistent.
Exactly, it was inconsistent, and when it was there, it was like still not really in that pocket fully. So I was trying to give it its benefit of the doubt there, but I think it might just sound a little bit more amateurish. I don't know what was happening. It doesn't sound like processing or like some sort of editing thing. It just sounded like delivery.
I thought it did. I thought it sounded like an editing thing. Like
Really?
it was, yeah, like it was the person who was producing it was trying to put it more in pocket, or there's just some weird like is that vocal even a real vocalist, or was it like if it's a sample vocal it could have just been taken from a different tempo and they manually kind of slowed down, sped up or whatever, and
Mm,
then placed those bits at where they wanted to, and those placements are very easy to mess up. It
yep,
could have been something like that. I don't know, Doc, of if you were the vocalist or the producer, or what exactly.
that's true. That's why we have a description box in the submission form,
That
guys.
would be
Let us
helpful.
know. Don't leave it blank. And if you're here in the chat, like that would be great too. So that's why we want to in our system remind people that to submit last stream. Hey, we're reviewing your track this week. Come on in, um, and make this form easier to fill out, stuff like that.
Yeah,
But anyways, yeah. So there's the timing that definitely came across. I feel like there's a specific part in the chorus where it's especially like the worst, but
that's right
I
here.
think throughout the rest of the song, it's pretty decent. And I thought the vocal, I thought the vocal sounded pretty good, pretty reminiscent of like Juice World or Trippy Red, that kind of style. Maybe Kid Laroi as well. Kind of autochrone crooner, whining about girl stuff. Um, can't really hear what the lyrical content was. I think there was one bar that left me confused. It's like all I want to do is just break her. It's like break her what? Like what are we talking about? Like back shots, break her back,
MMA.
or yeah, break her heart. I don't know. Like it's just an interesting thing to fall off on. In general, I feel like the vocals were kind of um, sonically quiet behind the beat. I wish they were a little bit more upfront. Um, but the melodies were very catchy, and a lot of the performance, at least confidence wise, I think they sound pretty good. So, yeah, let us know, Doc F. Are you producer? Are you um, vocalist? Anything like that? We'd love to give you specifically the feedback. So, do you have anything for vibes and first impressions, Josh?
Yeah, no, I agree about like the melodies and the writing being fine,
Mm-hmm.
being catchy, and makes sense. Yeah, so I mean, I'd say that I think the vibes are probably the strong point
Yeah,
potentially.
yeah,
Uh,
decent vibes.
but it is detracted from for me because of the like weird timing stuff a little bit.
Yep, yep.
So I'm gonna say I'll give it like a 79 between yellow and green.
Yeah, I was at like 74 between
Okay.
yellow and green. Pretty good, pretty good. Content. What do you have?
Yeah, and then for content, it's you know, I wasn't listening super closely to the lyrics. I'm sure you can comment on that more, but
Barely. I could barely hear it. I was trying. It's more of a vibe for this song.
yeah, it
Yeah.
is more of a vibey
Yeah.
type thing. But yeah, it's the right length. I think the sections are laid out fine. It doesn't get like boring too quickly or anything like that.
Yep.
I think it's pretty like standard, but it works for what it is. It's a fun melodic sort of hooky song. So
Yep.
yeah, not much else. What about you?
I agree. Yeah, I didn't get really bored. I enjoyed the vocalist. I enjoyed the beat, the guitar. Um, that fat 808, although maybe a little bit too fat. But yeah, I couldn't really comment on the lyrical stuff. It seems like it's a crooner, auto tune crooner type of song. Didn't really notice anything too out of pocket. Sometimes those guys even say shit that are out of pocket. But yeah, it's like, yeah, nothing too crazy except for that line. And yeah, it might be a downside where it might be a little bit less memorable. But um, yeah, it's not too bad. So content for me, I think I'm around. I think 74 is like kind of my score for this song content between yellow and green. What about you?
Yeah, I think I can agree with that. It's okay. It accomplishes the purpose that it sets out to accomplish. It's not
Mhm.
like super exciting though, but
Right.
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, and I
Uh,
guess this would go into that like. Well, I don't know if what the vocal timing is that like content or production because
it
I guess that
prob
might factor into.
Probably production. I mean, I
Yeah.
think production.
Yeah. If, my
You might
theory
think
is
it's delivery.
yeah. If it's my theory of delivery, it goes into my content score there. But production, what do you have?
Yeah, and then for production, I think well, one thing that stood out pretty quickly is just that 808 bass thing is like very boomy,
Mm.
just out of proportion a little bit to the rest of the track. It's just like you get a whole lot of that and not enough of the other stuff.
Whole
Like
lot of ass.
yeah, like the
Oh yeah,
mid-rangey high stuff isn't like as prominent because that is just there.
that
Uh,
farty bass.
yeah, and it was muddy too. It wasn't like a nice bass. It was just like I want people to think I have the most bass in my my track, and
Hell
it's
yeah,
just
bro.
like it's not how it fucking works.
It's just gonna sound like a
So
big old fart in the fucking
eh,
car, bro.
yeah, it didn't sound great. So
Hmm.
that's the main thing production wise. I think like I kind of liked the reverb. I think on the processing on the vocal, that was fine. And everything else was okay. It has a little bit of that like SoundCloud sort of somewhat low res audio like feel where like all the percussion is being a little bit blown out, like hitting a little bit of a hard limiter compression,
Mhm.
saturation, whatever. Just
Mhm.
not as clean as I would like personally prefer. Uh, kind of
Wait,
low.
the SoundCloud just compression algorithm you're saying?
No, I just mean like a lot of stuff that gets put on like SoundCloud is
Yeah,
like maybe it's not
that's
the
the
highest
aesthetic.
quality.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe it's not the highest quality plugins that are used, or like literally it could be like going out, in certain file formats into SoundCloud, and that affects it, or just I don't even know. Like there's a lot of different factors,
yeah, that
but
MP2.
yeah, it's just like not the. It's not like you can't post stuff to SoundCloud that sounds high quality.
Mhm.
It's just that if you're not like following best practices with mixing, then it's easier to get into that territory and just like make a mix that sounds more less clean and more like distorted in the places you may not want it to be intentionally.
From my
So
understanding too, SoundCloud is one of the platforms that like compresses the. I don't know if it's compressing, but the processing on it on the uploaded audio is like most notable. I think
probably because people use it for drafts a lot, and I think they know that, and it's not like a lossless audio thing. It's not Apple Music or
definitely not.
Tidal.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I wonder if they have like just a lot more tracks too.
on
Like they have to worry
SoundCloud,
about storage, yeah, something like that. Because it's all
I'm not
drafts and it's like from just people.
I'm not sure because then like the other streaming services, they like retroactively import all of the record label stuff. So there's like millions of songs that are from
Right,
like the past however many centuries, basically
right.
decades. So I don't know. I don't know if SoundCloud does that actively.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But yeah, anyways, production. Do you have anything else?
Uh, it was just that and the vocal being a little bit weird timing, but that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I'll say the vocal was just quiet. I think it needs to be brought up front. Sounds really good. You should highlight that. So, um, overall, though, I don't think it's too bad, production wise either. Maybe it's the low point, but even then, it was not too crazy. So, I think I'm at like 70 between yellow and green. What about you?
Yeah, I was gonna say 64% between yellow and green.
69, baby. No, just kidding.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Track
But
total. What do you got?
track total, I think 69.
Damn, is that what? Is that fair? Is that
It
where
just
you're at?
averages out from my other scores.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, intentional.
Yeah.
I think it'd be unfair for me to put it there, even though the potential well of the 69
Mm,
score is very big. I think it deserves like a 74. I think that's fair. I think.
sure.
Um, I really do like the vocalist and the beat. It's just yeah, some things were kind of whack here and there. So yeah, 74 between yellow and green. Thank you, Doc OF. Shouts out to you. Let us know what you did on the track, man. We want to know. I think you've submitted to us before. I want to say they're the vocalist, but I'm not sure. Okay, so we got Zeno. Shout out Zeno, going straight to the queue with their song "Loaded." They're in the chat, so we love it. We could talk to them. They also did not take much advantage of the project description, but that's okay. They're here.
He gave
Uh,
some details in the chat there. So he said on the
good,
form I
good.
said it's complete, but I'd say it just needs some mix mastering, so it's probably 85% done. But I
Oh,
said it's complete because most of it's there. I made the beat and did the vocals. I freestyled all the lyrics pretty much in one take. Sweet. Well,
what?
also you said I planned the 69. I did not plan that. This is all off
For
the cuff.
20%.
We're just me and Chris are both good improvisers, as it sounds like you are. So
Yeah, yeah.
excited to hear it.
My goal is to either get 69% or 420%. I guess 420% could be top tier
That'd
track.
be impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. On the form, I said it's complete.
I
Wait, so
just
it's
read that.
not? Yeah, so it's not mixed and mastered. Yeah, I'm just trying to like wrap
Needs
my
some
head
mix
around.
mastering. Yeah, have you? Well, I guess we'll find out. Have you done any mixing and mastering to it or anything yet?
Exactly.
Do you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get into that, and then again, we've got a queue. We've got like 9 people in the queue or something. So if you want to get reviewed this stream,
Boom.
and you didn't submit last week, basically, you should probably try to tip to skip, and that will get you moved to the front, so you'd actually be next. Guarantee that you get reviewed today, and otherwise you'll probably be up next week or after. So that's
Okay,
where we're at.
sweet. Zeno says they've done mixing to it. They say 85% because they don't like because people don't like my mixing, and I acknowledge I could improve. So you didn't master it either. This is great. Like so we can grade it as like okay, this is a mix. Like let's hear what it is. So basically, it's done in my eyes, but on others it might not be. Also, I'm always open to doing new stuff. So that's layering. Cool. All right, let's layer together. You ready?
Learning, yeah.
Layering. All right, Zeno
Get
loaded.
11% off everything.
Finished. Wait, it's
I got a
not finished
fucking
then.
ad on SoundCloud. Hold on, refresh,
Uh
bypass.
oh. Ba, ba, ba,
All right,
da.
we're good now.
So it's not finished. All right, Zeno, loaded. You
Yes.
ready?
Yep.
Three,
Let's do it.
2, 1. Ooh, loud.
Loaded on this one.
It's gonna get louder. How is this so loud?
Yeah, I don't know.
The high
Yeah.
frequencies.
Yeah, that jingly key thing in the beginning
I
was very
swear to
strong.
God, I'm
It's too loud. I have to
sorry.
turn it down.
How'd you turn that down? Yeah, the high frequencies is very.
At 7K.
Yeah, hurt.
I swear to God, you ain't ready when he's round. Stay low, motherfucker. So I'm really come out, bitch. Wise words always being quoted. My whole team is loaded. Count bang rolls, pesos daily. And you know that the feds wanna hate me. And everything I say, they want me quoted. And you know I'm loaded. Bitch, I'm loading out a video game. Rolling on my wrist, ice on my chain. I be going in, hopping private planes. Motherfucker don't understand that I can fly them too. Rhyming full. Motherfuckers hate where I be buying shoes. Buying tools. Yeah, I ain't a contractor. I'm a real boss, you a fucking actor.
I want to
I
hear
be
you sing
hacking
it
up
now.
the whole game. Diamonds up and down, the whole chain. Motherfucker, you got no blame, no name. I be in the PJ with the cocaine. No game, and I'm riding, rapping. Or stepping with all the weapons. Send them all to heaven in a drop top. Motherfuckers mad cause they know I got to. I swear to God, you ain't ready when these rounds hit. Motherfucker, so I'm really come out, bitch. Wise words
Shit's
always
so
being
hard to
quoted.
hear.
My whole team is loaded. Count bankrolls, pesos daily. And you know that the fans wanna hate me. And everything I say, they want me quoted. And you know it, loaded. Had it fully, got the pussy weak. Motherfuckers hate. Used to fuck her in my Jeep. But then I had to keep it up, keep it up. Motherfucker ain't seen enough. And I know the fans talking. But I keep on walking. And I know my line tight when I'm
Wait, is what
talking.
they're
I
called?
don't take no crap, you won't leave me walking. And they stopping me.
Wait,
Fuck
what?
the
I can't hear you. There's
hypocrisy.
no way I
Don't
can hear you.
stopping me. I be at the top, bitch. Motherfucker, I'm the trending topic. Exotic cars, exotic kush smoking. Yeah, I'm in Nassau, not Oakland. Motherfuckers hating while you joking. My bitch bad, she always smoking. I swear to God, you ain't ready when these rounds hit. Motherfucker, so I'm really come out, bitch. Wise words always being quoted. They're quoted. My whole team is loaded. Count bankrolls, pesos daily. And you know that the feds wanna hate me. And everything I say, they want me quoted. And you know it, loaded.
Way too much reverb, man.
Yeah, I
It
think there's
drowns
something
out
else.
everything.
There's something other than just reverb too.
For sure, for sure.
Even here though, it's a lot of reverb.
Yeah, reverb and just pushing up those high frequencies so
Yeah,
much.
it's the highs. It's probably something on the mix bus, the output bus. Fuck, that has like a lot of high frequency boost or exciter or something like that. I don't know exactly what you've got. Wow, my ears are like dead.
Yeah, that was very loud and I mean, there's only so loud that you can get in terms of like decibels wise. Like they have
Yeah,
limits,
yeah,
but like there's perceived loudness, and
yeah.
it's
Right.
typically and Josh, please correct me because he's the the bachelor's in music tech, correct?
Yes.
Um, but it's like what you have like a frequency spectrum, and if you push up the freaking high frequencies like that, it just increases the perceived loudness so much that it just experiences like what me and Josh are saying right now. It just hurts our freaking ears, and we have to turn it down. So yeah, maybe Josh can give a little more technical background there,
Yeah, I
but
was gonna try to
yeah,
find a. This is so annoying. A picture to
you're sorry
show.
about that. No worries, bro. Like this is why you come here, right? Um, but let's see.
Here's
Yeah,
a little example. I think this should show up. Okay. Uh, yeah, this is your ear.
oh God, yeah, but perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, so like
Oh my God! Wait, look at that. What is the roll off there? Sound
you have
pressure?
you have different amounts of sensitivity that your ear experiences basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Equal loudness and oh, maybe this isn't the one. So I think this is showing. Is this inverted?
We getting technical here, bro.
Equal loudness at different sound pressure levels. So this is actually upside down. So you have to imagine that the sensitivity is greatest right here. This is like 5 to 7K. This
Okay,
is where the like sibilance in the human voice lives. So
I
like
see.
5 to 7K kilohertz. This shit hurts. This is what you have in, in your mix in
Yeah.
abundance, that is making it too bright and too loud as you see it rolls off. So you need like way more sound pressure in the air to at like 20 hertz to equate what you need at like negative, almost no sound pressure basically, down at these super high frequencies. So there's a drop off here, and then there's an increase here, and yeah, this is the area that you have to be careful around.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that seems to be where I mean the vocals lives. That seems to be where all this shimmery synths that are happening. It seems like every single instrument has reverb on it, and it's all just accumulating in that area. Not that just that area, everywhere. But
On everything, yeah.
yeah,
And there's also it makes things super crowded, especially like reverbs and delays usually, to sound realistic, have a lot of high end content because the way that physics works, reverbs almost never are comprised only of low frequencies because low frequencies tend to roll across surfaces and
mhm,
they collect, actually sort of build up in corners and stuff, which is why you have bass traps like you see back there. But high frequencies are super directional. They're almost like light. And so they bounce like in a singular direction in a straight line, and they bounce off of stuff many times. And that creates reverb where you've got sound that's bouncing back and forth a bunch of times. So,
Market Mr. KTUK donated $5. Thank you very much, bro.
oh,
Appreciate
sweet.
you. We'll get to you after Xeno here, Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yes.
But yeah, this is fire. You get a physics lessons here because yeah, I
Yeah, I
didn't
mean,
realize that the low end builds up because of that. The curve.
yeah, it explains like why we have issues. And then also, probably a lot of people here are mixing in small rooms.
Hmm.
One of the big problems you get is that there's this thing called standing waves, where if
Yeah.
you've got two parallel walls, imagine like a waveform, right? So you've got like a sine wave that goes up and then goes back down and then repeats.
Yep.
If you have a wave, single wavelength, that's a physical length. Like, I don't know how many hertz this is, but you could fit a wavelength in between my hands, and
Yep.
that would be like, I don't know, let's say like 1,000 hertz or something like that. It's probably
Something
not.
like that. Yeah.
Uh, Now, if you sort of, when you go to a certain dimension that you have between walls, they're actually very low wavelengths that resonate within that specific dimension. So, say you have like a small enough room, and maybe like 36 hertz or something is the resonant frequency between those walls.
Yeah.
Uh, you will not be able to hear that frequency accurately in your room.
Yeah.
Some spots are going to be at the node of that wave, so
Yep.
where it hits the zero line essentially, and there will
Hmm.
be almost none of that sound in that spot. And then you
Hmm.
move over like a foot, and there will be like an abundance because you're at the peak of that
Yeah.
wave. So if you have speakers, play a low tone in your room, like a bassy tone, and then move around the room and see how the volume changes in different spots. And you'll be like, holy fuck,
Yeah.
sound is like not like
It's
even
nuts.
at all. It's like totally like it's predictable but unpredictable at the same time.
Yeah.
It's very weird, and that's why it's so important to have a properly treated room when you're actually mixing, because like you could be hearing something that's like totally rose colored glasses.
Or
Like
use headphones.
headphones can help, but they're not the best solution for mixing,
Yeah.
because they don't represent spatial fields accurately like
Correct.
speakers do.
Yeah. I'm talking
There's
specifically about this buildup problem though
If
with
your
standing
room
waves.
really, well, you should use both. Really, you should be
Correct.
checking on reference speakers in different
Everywhere.
rooms on
Yeah.
different systems. In your car, that's a great one because it's usually pretty full range.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, there's
Dude, on
like
your iPhone, this one would be harsh. Like your iPhone
yeah,
would. Oh
you wouldn't
man.
be able to make out any like definition between different instruments and the vocal and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
anyways, the point here is like you have to start from the basics, which is you can't mix if you can't hear properly.
Mhm.
And so that's like solve that issue first. It could be that you have so much brightness here because your room is carpeted or something like that, or has a lot of like absorption, like soft material, which would
Mhm.
mean that you are hearing less high frequencies than we are. So it's like not fair from the get go for helping you make a good mix. It could be that the speakers you use are like rolled off on the high end, or they have a gap, like a frequency distribution curve that is dipped. Especially consumer devices usually dip out the frequencies that you have too much of because they know that that stuff is harsh. And if you're mixing on a set of headphones or speakers that have that dip down because they're not reference speakers, you're going to make stuff that sounds too harsh. So
Mix it on some beats. Oh no, I have
There we
Skull Candy
go.
Crushers.
There
You're
we
so
go.
right.
Yep. Okay, so that's your problem, sir.
Yeah.
Throw those things in the fucking trash.
Well, you can use
I mean,
them
you can use them
recreationally.
for, yeah, for fun, but again, the whole point of like recreational, recreational versus reference speakers is that maybe I can find another graph here.
Yeah.
Uh, Neutral speaker frequency curve.
Mhm.
uh, is that they're gonna, like, consumer devices will cut out undesirable frequencies essentially. Oh, this is a
Mhm.
good picture. This is from Arting's good website.
Artings. Hmm.
Yeah, they do like ratings of like equipment and gear and stuff.
Mm-mm.
Image address. Okay, put this here. Okay, here we go. So this is like just an example of, like, everybody here knows what an EQ curve is, right? So this is like similar to what a set of speakers might look like. It's going to not represent frequencies very well down past, this one's showing like 40 hertz or something like that, maybe 60. And then there's like all these little, like, undulations throughout the frequency spectrum range where there's going to be more or less representation of those frequencies. This is, I think, supposed to be a pretty normalized, like, flat speaker, but you might have consumer speakers that are dipped like all the way down,
Oh
like
yeah.
in a certain range and just not even at all. And so you can't, like, say, color code a video correctly if your computer monitor is like showing more reds and less greens than like everybody else's.
Mhm.
So yeah, super important.
Yeah,
That's thing
definitely.
one. Just for your mixing purposes here, once you correct all that stuff, then you just have to learn that, like, if you make things too present in that 5 to 7 kilohertz range, it's
Hmm.
going to hurt people's ears, and there's going to be more perceived clashing of different instruments because it's just like too much for our ears to process.
Yeah, it sounded like a
So
noise wall for sure.
yeah, there's like a lot of clashing going on here, a lot of like probably boosted stuff. I don't know if there's other weird processing that's like causing strange aliasing or just like weird stuff.
Hmm.
Masking is what it's called. So when you have two instruments that are predominant in the same frequency range or ranges, they mask over each other, and it can mean that it just makes it hard to hear either over the other one.
Hmm.
Sometimes this can be beneficial if you have like a bass and a kick that mask each other in certain frequency ranges, but then others there's like a little cutout or like a side chain type thing because then they feel cohesive. But with all this high mid range stuff, you really want to limit those frequencies to like one instrument group, and then cut it out from the other ones, right? Like have an EQ carve that
Hmm.
eliminates that frequency range from the other ones. So
Especially when you're talking about vocals, like we need to be hearing what you're saying, you know.
yeah,
So.
and you can think of it like this too. There are plenty of frequency ranges that don't need to be mutually exclusive between instruments or groups, but the ones that are super like obvious, right? So like again, 5 to 7 kilohertz, like anything that's bright or distinctive about an instrument, you should really like carve some space out, like all of your other buses or instruments, do some EQs to, subtle EQ to remove those frequencies so it has room to speak its voice in that range. And think of it like you have a limited space, this EQ space here from 20 to 20k hertz, uh, and like each instrument has certain areas that it owns, and you want to limit the amount that multiple instruments live in the same ranges. So
Mhm.
that's your goal. That's like step two. Like volume is step one of mixing. Step two is EQing, and then you can get into compression and side chaining and all
Well, you
this
could do
other.
stereo field too.
Well, yeah, stereo too. Usually, stereo is something that you can kind of. It's safer to handle stereo spacing
Mhm.
after you've made the mix sound good in mono, and that's like a
Mm.
very common pro mixing thing. Is like they only mix in mono until the very end, or like throughout you can make like stereo adjustments and stuff,
Mhm.
but put it into mono because a lot of speakers might be in mono, and if your mix doesn't sound good for that, sorry, but your stereo shit doesn't matter at all.
Wait, but Josh, when do I slap everything with reverb?
Yeah, I
Do I
mean,
not do that at the beginning because reverb sounds good?
oh no. I mean,
Because
it's you
that's the kind of
can.
shit that I did as a young producer.
Yeah, it's not to say you can't, because look, if you mix your whole track and then you put reverb on at the end, like reverb isn't some neutral thing that just is like fluff, right? Like reverb
Mhm.
has its own frequency spectrums that it
Yep.
it reverberates and accentuates. So if you put the reverb on at the end on everything, you're gonna probably fuck up your mix a little bit,
Yes.
and you're not gonna know where you need to cut range out of other instruments to make room for that reverb. Reverb takes up its own frequency space. So
Mhm.
give it that space to breathe by cutting things out. And a true test of good mix is if it's dry, you turn all that stuff off. It should sound a little bit sparse. It should sound like there's lots of space. Things are breathing, and then when you put the reverb in, it fills in that space in between. So yeah, that's where we're at. Are you responding to the thing about the Twitch cheers?
Yeah, I mean, I checked and it's apparently $3, not $6.
Oh,
And we don't know shit about bits, so I don't know, man. Like, I don't know, I
yeah.
guess.
We don't really do it that way. I mean,
Yeah.
are you able? Do you mind instead doing it through the Streamlabs thing? Because we just want to keep it fair for everyone.
Yeah, please, that'd be better. Um, oh, Canada. I don't either. It's okay. Wait, what? Canada?
Canada, Canada.
Is this wrong
Can you
chat?
not use it in Canada? I don't know.
Hey,
Anyways,
yo, man. What's up? Hey,
hey
Trenda.
Trenda, what up?
Hey,
Welcome.
Trenda.
Submit
But
your shit.
dude, by the way, you're oh yeah, submit this thing. Tip to skip, use this link, please. Dude, he means $6 Canadian. Oh, okay. I wanted to just say before we moved on, when you were like, "Oh, this is about 1,000 hertz," you kind of nailed it because this
Are you
is
serious?
the wavelength is 34 centimeters, so about a foot.
Dude, that okay, that's
Yeah,
weird.
that was
I
pretty
told
good.
you, okay, I have this weird uncanny thing that happens where if I try to just like estimate like numerical stuff with like little background knowledge,
Yeah,
sometimes I end up close. I don't know why.
yeah, you got that Rain Man in you, bro.
Oh, is that what
You
that is?
got a little bit of that.
Interesting. Winter's gonna be mild.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. But
Interesting.
anyways, we all that to say, what do we have for vibes here?
Yeah, let's just sort of do rapid fire like
Yeah, we gave them a
scores
lot.
here.
Yeah,
One sentence and then rate.
yeah,
Uh yeah, vibes, I mean, it's a little
it
hard.
hurts.
Like generally what happens if your production is bad, that goes up to content and vibes, and if your content's bad, it goes up to vibes. Like
Hmm.
these things are all like intertwined, and
Hmm.
I think the mixing in specific is making it hard to actually hear the song underneath it.
Yeah,
So I don't even know, like, I think you could have potential because you're doing a lot. It's not like you have a lack of song here,
yeah.
right? If anything, simplification probably could help, and
Oh yeah,
that's kind of in the content department.
yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, just as a listener experience right now, this is
I mean, this
probably like
I
a,
honest here, you do it.
I don't know. I was gonna say like a 30% between develop and good to go, but I feel like you were gonna go lower.
Dude, I was gonna like we got to be completely real right now, right? So it's like they asked for a jokingly like, oh, 69%, blah blah blah. But I really do think it's gonna be 69% between red and yellow, just
Oh,
because this hurts to listen to. And like
yeah,
I'm
it's
not
true.
trying to be like, oh shit on this guy, you're a terrible artist, because I listen to the way you deliver and you sound so confident, and like I swear I was hearing like some sort of like funny bars. Like I could, and just like by your demeanor in the chat, this it just sounds like a fun song and like a fun, you're like freestyling or whatever, and there's probably gonna be some funny bars here and there. Um but yeah, in its state right now, like there's no way I could give any sort of like good to go. It's like you gotta like redo the mixing from the get go. There are some performance issues, I think, that something something they be loaded, blah 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 blah, blah quoted or something. Every time that came in, it was a little bit behind. But yeah, there's just, yeah, just the main thing is like it hurts to listen to frequency spectrum wise. I give you a little bit of upside because you sound like a fun artist that I want to hear. But yeah, right now it just hurts to listen to. So 69%, you got it. Um, yeah, content. What do you have?
Yeah, for content, I mean, again, I think there's like a song buried underneath the rubble, but it's just kind of hard to get to right now. So like,
Yeah, I
if
think
you
we got a tip, by the way. Who was it?
did
That's
we?
my fault. I missed it. Yeah, maybe you check
I
the.
was trying to check, but I didn't see anything yet. I'll check again.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of it's covered up by the production issues. I think
yeah.
you
Content.
you kind of need to address that first. Yeah, for content. I mean, I'm probably
Yeah,
just
yeah,
gonna say like same thing, like 30% between develop and good to go. There's probably
yeah.
some stuff that's in there that can be developed. It's not like it's a bad song by any means,
Mhm, mhm.
but the production needs to be addressed to make it listenable first. I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I talked about the delivery being off a little bit. Uh, in general, though, I do like the confidence here. I don't. I think there's like some sort of auto tune, but you're not really changing notes. So I just heard that kind of fixed. note the whole time, and it's like, bruh, do you even need autotune? Like, let me just hear your voice. Um, Kind of like a big epic kind of sounding song with these war drums. Um, I would like it, and like war drums, it'd be great when it hits a big transient, it fills up a room, and then you could hear like how it bounces off the walls, the reverb. But that's all being just washed out by all the other reverb that's being applied to everything. So yeah, there's like some cool aspects to this song content wise. But yeah, like Josh said, it's hard to judge at this point. We can barely hear what's going on. So content, I could say, yeah, maybe like 10% between green and yellow. Like I said, there's some great delivery, confidence wise, and then maybe some funny bars here and there. But I can't really hear much of it at all. And
Yeah.
production, what do you say?
And then yeah, production, I think I'm just gonna put it 50% between redo and develop
Yep.
because like you have a mix to work from potentially, but it's like you might have to get new speakers. So
Yeah, man. Yeah, and listen to it on like a bunch of systems. If you don't, yeah, if you,
yeah, and if you're constrained to, for whatever reason, for budget or for your room not being like a good listening environment,
yep.
these are good headphones. The Audio
Shout out.
Technica ATH M50s because they're very
Yes.
neutral and even. So
Yeah, their
that's
EQ
they're
is like
super
flat, basically.
common. Yeah, they're like all over the music industry too. Everybody uses them.
Yeah, I think Mr. UK or whatever his name is that tipped next. I think he said AT Gang as well.
He's
So
Canadian. We got the Canadian dollars.
I think that's Wild Boars. They said they
Oh,
tipped, but it's Market. My bad. You're right. That I'm stupid, Mr. KT. All right, whatever. But yeah, we can get to the label releases
fuck.
now.
Sorry.
Okay, what are we at? Production? Oh yeah, you said 40?
Hold
420.
on. BRB.
Okay. Do you have to go to the bathroom?
I have to cough.
Oh, okay, because I have to take a piss. But all right, so 40. I was put mine as 42% between red and yellow. Um, yeah, for the same reasons we've been talking about. You know what to do. Um, oh, Josh's screen is black. For that track total, I think for the fun of it, it's at 69% between redo and develop. Uh, yeah, you already know our feedback and what goes into it. Hopefully, Josh is okay. Um, but we'll see what he's talking about. So in terms of the queue, thank you for the donations, everybody. We just listened to Zeno. We'll listen to what Josh has to say, his final thoughts once he's done coughing. Then we have Market Music. Shout outs to you for donating. And then we got Wild Boars, which I believe was 111 Night Shift. Correct me if I'm wrong, Wild Boars. Um, yeah, thank you guys for the tips. It's really awesome. 6:42. We probably have time for another song after that as well. So if you guys want to get in right away, this stream, use the tip link. It's $5 minimum, and we could fill up that queue. Otherwise, we typically go in order of what people or in order of when they're submitted. So yeah, that queue right now it looks like Market Music, 111 Night Shift for the donos, and then for order of time it's Reg Mason, Gowie, Jokerhead, Main, Ace and Deuce, I Am Jet, Fish Memory, and Trenda. So we definitely will not get to those people that submitted today if you're in the free queue. We'll only get to you today if you tip. Uh, if you're fine with waiting, we get to every song that's submitted to us, so you could just wait until the next stream, and we can get to you there. But yeah, just to let you know that that's how kind of how it works. We're trying to be fair, but
Okay, I'm alive.
oh,
Barely.
okay, he's back.
The fucking
Yeah,
cold meds didn't work.
yeah, man, you were going crazy over there.
It's like goddamn.
I gave him
Uh,
the whole tip spiel and everything.
what was your
Um,
track total score?
Mine was 69% between red and yellow.
Oh, between red and yellow.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, fuck it. I'll agree.
yeah. It's a big potential, well, man, for sure. But yeah, thank you so much, Chris and Josh. Woohoo, I made it. Hey, bro, we think you can even make it to 69% between yellow and green. That's the next goal. And then, eventually purple. We believe in you.
Oh yeah.
Purposely effed up the mix. Nah, 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 nah. Thank you for listening. Thank you, bruh. Bruh. Damn, hope you get better soon. Appreciate it so much. Yes, haha. Hey, Trenda, what's up, bruh? What's the bruh for? It might be because they're last in queue. But anyways,
Probably.
yeah. So it sucks, man. We want to get to everybody though. Some people have deadlines. So Market Music, you're next. Shout out to you. TOF work in progress. It's the first time making trap. It has a basic master on it, but I still think it needs a bit of mixing work that I think y'all can help with. Well, thank you. We'll try our best. TOF. What does it stand for? Let us know. Tough
Wait, so
market.
it's market and then who
I
did
like
after
this
that?
branding. So it's market and then 111 night shift. That's
Okay.
Wild Boars. Wild Boars, confirm, please. I think that's him, but yeah,
I think that's correct. Yeah, that looks like it's correct.
cool.
Wait.
Uh,
Actually, no. I think that's fish memory. Wild Boars is fish memory, not 111 night shift.
you sure?
Yeah, I see the name in the donation thing and the name in the queue, and Wild Boars is fish memory.
Ah, fuck. Who said earlier in the chat? Oh, I'm 111 night shift.
Somebody else.
I got that wrong. My bad. But okay, yeah. Sorry, Wild Boars. Thank you for confirming, you and Josh. But okay, yeah. Let's do TOF by Market Music. You ready?
Yeah, let me get that in the thing.
All right, and Market's in the chat. So yeah, man, tell us about the song, and we can read it after we're listening. So you ready?
Yep, let's do it.
3, 2, 1. Cool.
I wish the bass and that sample were louder.
Yeah, I was waiting for it to kick in a little bit. The general will get in harder. 3-6 Mafia. Suicide Boys. A cool beat. It just needs more bass.
Very deep bass.
Yeah, creatively, I think it's really cool. Vocals should be louder than vocal sample. Yeah, that vocal sample, I think it should be louder. The drums just don't seem to really be hitting hard. Just needs that
Cool.
yeah, a lot of cool stuff. Production-wise. Beat making-wise. That snare's a little thin.
Yeah, it'd be sick with a really fat, snappy snare.
A lot of cool like stutters and dropouts though. Cool. Yeah, nice
Nice.
like sample work overall too. Shout out Market Music. Appreciate you.
Dude, what's up with all the like maybe it's fine, but like the fade, like I'm sure there was just like a normal fade in the DAW, but then it sounded like it was bounced like a bar too early or something. It just
Oh, at the
ended.
end?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't know, man. I think SoundCloud does that. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, I've seen that happen a couple of
Weird.
times with some of my friends' tracks too.
Hmm.
But yeah, that was TOF by Market. You have Vibes first impressions, Josh?
Yeah, I mean it's a nice chill vibe.
Really? It
Uh,
is like some shit that I want to like
yeah, it is a little bit like
commit a felony to.
it's like chill and a little aggressive at the same time.
Yeah,
Uh,
let us know what you're trying to go for, Market, because yeah, I feel like this is kind of up the alley of like Suicide Boys or 3-6 Mafia, like Memphis type, just like murder music or something. Like,
yeah.
but it's production wise, I don't think it's like really hard hitting there yet. So let us know what kind of vibe you're going for. But anyways, I'll let you continue, Josh.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, there's lots of cool like stuttering and effects that are going on. I think right now the main thing for me that could be improved a little bit is just the sort of sonic like hierarchy of elements. So
A garage and bass. Interesting. Okay.
y- you've got like the beginning. What is it? I don't even know what to call that.
Bum, bum, ba,
All
bum.
this like horn stuff and like the vocal parts, whatever the hell those like high mid rangey elements are
Yeah.
that are like right at the forefront, and
Mhm.
then
Filter in the back.
you got that bass and that like telephony vocal sample that sound like they're in the background
Yeah.
while the other stuff is still right in the forefront, and that's kind of confusing. I feel like they should be a little bit more equal. And
Yeah.
then even once the bass comes in, it still feels like those original elements are further forward, and like
Yep.
that's common with stuff that's a little bit brighter. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. What do you have any other thoughts?
Yeah, it's like the uncanny valley of like volume and impact for the bass, for example, and the vocals, I guess. But I interpreted that first entrance of the bass to be like a build up. So I would say high, what is it, high pass it or low cut it even more, like more dramatic to make sure it's like, wait, is that the bass? It's so weak. Why is it so weak? And then when it comes in, there needs to be something done to make it more impactful because it's kind of left underwhelming as an attack. So um, it's interesting you say UK garage and UK bass music because I guess at least with garage, I can kind of hear it in the instrumentation, like that kind of clappy snare that you have. It seems like that would go great in kind of like a light drum beat, like that kind of like UK garage. Forgive me if that's like incorrect. I feel like that's what it is though. But for something like this, I feel like you need a snare with some more oomph, some more like low frequency kind of bump at around like 200 hertz or something to kind of really give it some impact. Um, I think the bass could probably, or the kick drum as well, could use some of that as well, and maybe even look into like distortion of your drums, compression of your drums, letting that transient leak through for that impact, but also boosting up the rest of that drum sample to really allow that kind of oomph and rich timbre to be heard as well. Um, I'm interested to hear how you're kind of mixing uh, the drums with the rest of the beat as well. Because I guess I'm focusing on trying to get as much impact as possible from your drums. So there's stuff that you could do because you're limited to only so much frequency space and power and the decibel limit, the ceiling. You can only get as loud as you can as the uh, platforms like SoundCloud allow you to get, or Spotify or whatever. Um, so the thing that's typically done, and I hope I'm not preaching to the choir, but this could be to everybody else that doesn't know, is like side chaining. So essentially, it's like ducking one part of the beat to let more of another part of the beat come through. So for example, what's typically done is ducking a lot of the main melody and maybe some of the kind of bass instrument notes, ducking that while the kick comes through. That way, the kick can really come in at very loud and almost hitting that limit by itself. You get a huge impact that way, and then right after that, the rest of the samples or the rest of the instruments can come back up to that volume, and that way you get like a nice impact, a nice kind of pumping feel that could really, I think, get the energy up. So that's something like, I guess, very production oriented. Um, and I see Josh is back. You okay? Okay, he's off. Coughing up a storm. But anyways, yeah, that's something that I could give you like an actionable feedback. I'll have to look at the chat to see what you're doing now, but yeah, that's the kind of vibes for me. I think the melody itself is really cool. I think that vocal sample, like do 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 do, like very 3-6 Mafia type of beat, type of feel. I think it's really cool. It just needs to be louder, like Josh was saying. Um, I don't think I was ever really bored throughout the song either. You're doing a lot of cool things, and I can kind of honestly see the UK garage influence now. Very like choppy sample work, a lot of dropouts in and out and stuff like that. Um, and what Josh was saying, kind of chill drums. So I'm hoping you can kind of fatten up the drums and just make it a little bit more thumping, more impactful. And I think that this song could really, really shine in that way. So my vibes for now, um, I don't think it's a finished song for sure. but I definitely like a lot of what's going on. Fuck, I don't know if I'm centering on this score to be stupid, but like I feel like it fits here. I think it's around like 69 to 70% of yellow and green between develop and good to go. Because yeah, I really like what's happening a lot actually. I just want this to go harder. What about you, Josh?
Yeah, I could probably agree with that. With that about it's like I don't know what the rest of your thoughts were, but I think there's some cool like stuttering and effects that are going on and stuff.
Yep.
Uh, I sort of feel like for me personally, for 2 minutes 48 seconds, which doesn't sound that long, it did feel a little bit long.
Mm.
Maybe because there was no vocal, or because it was kind of like that same top line,
Boom,
like
bam,
that
bam,
started at the
bam.
beginning, was like the whole time pretty much.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, screen share just died.
classic.
Yes, but okay, should we go to content?
Mhm. Yeah. Did you give a score?
Yeah, I agreed with your score.
Oh, 69. Okay.
Mhm.
Content. What do you have?
Uh, and then I mean that's kind of the same thing that I just said, but I think like there's lots of cool effects that you're doing, and the cutting out, the glitching, and all that stuff is interesting.
Mhm.
Uh, but I wish there was a little bit more of a sort of centerpiece or some just more variation maybe that
Mhm.
would sort of keep us along for the ride the whole time.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not
if
sure
that
what that'd be.
centerline vocal was more centerline, like
Could
this
be.
is what you should be listening to. This is what you should get hyped to. But it's just like a background element at this point.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But it's like an interesting style. I like it stylistically. It's a little
Mhm.
different than what
Yeah.
we often hear, but yeah, it just needs to be like interesting enough to listen to. Or depending on what the use case is, like do you want this to be background music for like studying or something, or just like for like background club music? I still can't put my finger on like there's an aggressiveness to the bass, but the rest of it has this sort of lo-fi like chill vibe. I don't know. It's
Right,
weird.
which it's just like there's no there's like a new genre, lo-fi murder music. It's like I don't know about that. Yeah. There's a very kind of mismatched the way the melodies are and like the all the different samples that are being used versus how it's produced and engineered. Um where it's engineered more in the lo-fi bass, like they say UK garage versus this kind of hard-hitting Memphis style hip hop trap that I'm wanting it to be, but maybe I'm just pushing that bias a little bit. But all that to say, do you have a score for content?
Uh you go first. I can't decide.
Let's see, content. Boom. Yeah, like I said, I really like a lot that's going on. I typically didn't get too bored, but I see what Josh is saying. I think if you make the adjustments production wise, that it would be more riveting because you're doing a lot of cool uh, beat making stuff. Not I wouldn't say engineering, but like beat making stuff where you're chopping out a lot of things. It kept me entertained for a long time, and I like a lot of the base the foundational elements here. There just needs to be some work done on the production. So I think content for me might be the highest score, which I'll put it at like 78 between yellow and green.
Uh, yeah, I think that's probably accurate. I'll say like 72 for me.
Okay, production.
Yeah, and then production, it's just like I talked about, just your sort of gain staging is the most basic. That's step one of mixing.
Mhm.
Just making sure that like the sort of front to back is right. So just volume essentially. Those I don't know what to call them again, like the horns, vocal things, whatever. All
Top line.
the little da da does.
Bum
uh,
bum ba bum.
yeah, those are all right at the front, and then everything else feels secondary. And I think that you could make it feel more full bodied and interesting if those were kind of more integrated.
Yep. Yeah, and I talked about I gave him the whole spiel about side chaining, specifically to make the drums sound more impactful. If you want to go in that direction, I'm just completely assuming that you're going to more of this hard hitting direction. You even say sliding 808s, that's like similar style. Sam Gayatri, I don't really know. I've heard of them, but I don't like know their music. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt. Um, you might want to switch some of the samples too, to be honest. Uh, like I said, that clap is very thin and it sounds good in UK Garage. It's very light, but for something like this, I feel like you'd want something hard hitting. So hard hitting, gritty, that kind of feel. Um, but yeah, production for me, I think is the one that needs more work. Um, I think I'm at like a 20% between yellow and green. What about you?
Uh, yeah, I think for production,
Yeah.
it's not like terrible. I think
No,
a
it's
lot
not.
a lot of it's good. For me, it was just those kind of minor like gain staging
Yeah.
adjustments. I'll probably say like 60% between yellow and green.
True. Yeah. Overall track total, that puts me. I think I'll put it at like 55 between yellow and green. I think there's a lot to like here. I think you have a cool song on your hands too. Um, it's just the way it's produced now. It feels very amateurish. So I like it to be amateurish and underwhelming when it shouldn't be. Like it should be very hard hitting and gritty. Like you've got a really cool melody and chopping style. Um, I'd want that to be kind of what is it on display. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think like it's cool. It's cool stylistically and all of that. It's not bad mixing wise. I think it just lacks a little bit of like interest or excitement or like subject.
Mhm,
It's kind of just it feels like a lot of almost like looping to me,
mhm.
even if it's not. It sort of is a lot of repetition.
True.
So more variation. That's the main thing for me.
You, cool. On that market UK, thank you for the submission. Thank you
Wait,
for the
track
tip.
total score. Did you give a score?
Yeah, I did. I said 55.
Oh, I thought that was for production. Uh,
No, production was 20. I put it at
oh,
20.
right.
Yeah.
I think my track total score would be like 62. I like it. It's just I think it could be more exciting.
Yeah. And Market just had a good point. Great, lads. Thanks so much. Shit, this perfect feedback for me. We'll take that into account and get back to you, lads. That's right. If it's a work in progress, hell, if it's a finished release, you could take our feedback, work on it, and submit it to us again. Like that's perfectly fine. And the platform that we're building, we're actually looking at like project management tools that allow you to have different versions of the track, and you can store feedback on each version, and you could see how each mix changes, and you could see like, oh, like the bass on this one was really cool, mix 4, but for some reason on mix 7 it's like gone, and that kind of like history, um, and project management kind of features we think would be very useful. So
I
uh,
sort of want to run that poll again.
yeah, I was gonna say I see a pin by Fast Track Music, and it wasn't me, but yeah, so Market, we'd love to hear it again, or if you have other songs too, feel free to send it to us. But yeah, you want to run the poll?
Yeah, but it's impossible to find in
Wait, what do you mean?
Twitch. If there's like 30 fucking menus in Twitch in the dashboard,
Oh yeah, I don't
it's
even
like I
know.
don't know which one it is.
Yeah, I think there's like a chat command
Oh,
or
I think I
something.
might have found it. Okay.
Okay.
Nope, that's not it. JK.
Boom, 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 boom.
Streamer survey is not surveys that streamers can use. That's something else
Yeah.
that nobody wants to do.
But yeah, in terms of the queue right now, we have Fish Memory. Shout out to Boar in the chat. Wow Boar, something like that. Wow Boars for tipping. After Fish Memory, we'll go back to the people that submitted an order. So that's Reg Mason, Gowie, Jokerhead, Maine, Ace and Deuce, I Am Jet, 111 Night Shift, Trenda, and we got La Gonzalez. We got your submission. Um, but as it stands, we end at 7:30, and our reviews are kind of long, as you guys can imagine. So probably can only do like two more songs, maybe three if we're fast, but
Probably two.
I wouldn't count on it. Yeah. So um, it'd be Fish Memory right now, and then there's one spot left. So if you guys want to get, uh, it'd be Reg Mason. If you guys want to be after Fish Memory, you could tip $5 minimum. Use that link in the chat. We'll get you in this week. Otherwise, we get to every song that's submitted to us, which is 506 and counting.
Yep.
Um, it's just we can't. We have to be fair to people that have deadlines and stuff like that. Plus, hey, you can give us a little tip for all this hard work we're doing. Josh is coughing up a storm. Oh shit, Jokerhead, he's here.
Oh boy. The fun has
Oh boy.
started. Yeah, sorry guys, I keep dying. I'd recommend if you haven't gotten sick, just stay inside for another week or two.
Yeah, it's sixth season for sure.
It's not worth it. Uh,
But
let's
okay,
see.
cool.
Okay, I'm gonna try putting the poll in here. I wish you could do it longer than 10 minutes, but this should be good. So we just talked about a couple of different features that we are
I'm going to the bathroom real quick.
potentially working on developing for Fast Track. We talked about pro music feedback, which is the first option there. That's like um, professionals that are in the music industry that have worked with like artists potentially who have had a lot of success, maybe have worked at record labels, different positions within the music industry and might offer services as well. Those people can give you feedback and in your genre as well, where you need it. So say you need songwriting help, you need production help with mixing, mastering, release, promotion help, whatever it is, those people you could, kind of consult with and get feedback on your track in a visual way where you can see the waveform and they can put categorized comments on your track. So that's option A. Option B is music project management, which is like setting due dates for like tasks on your music projects, assigning collaborators to tasks, stuff like that, organizing different versions of your songs and your projects, uploading your album art, just kind of the general management of your project. So please vote in the poll for which one you think you'd use more frequently or sort of value more, getting feedback from professionals in music or sort of having a platform to manage your general project tasks. So yeah, we've got just a couple of votes, but I'm curious to see what you all think since there are a bunch of you in the chat. So that's what we've got. I think, like Chris said, we've got Fish Memory. Yeah, so you are up next because you tipped. Thank you for that. Let me check to see if there are any new tips here. I don't think so. Uh-oh. Wow. PayPal is not working. Okay, well, so we'll start with Fish Memory. I'll get that queued up here. Christopher is back. What do you know? Christopher. Oh boy, Jokerhead, do you have a track? Oh, you do have a track in the queue. So you always say that you're going to tip, but then you never do. So if you actually will, let us know.
Jokerhead, this is the last spot, bruh. Don't fuck around, or else other people might cut ahead of you.
Fuck around and find out, as they
For
say.
real. But yeah, so we got Fish Memory. Song title song title is Real. It's a finished released experimental heavy. Wild Boars is in the chat. Let us know what you want us to feedback on. It seems like it's a finished release, so we'll grade it that way. Kind of creepy album art here. Very interesting. And you said you're going to change your name, so let us know. But you ready, Josh?
Yes, I got it pulled up.
Oh, there's lyrics here too. Great. All right, Real, Fish, Memory. 3, 2, 1.
You go outside for a short walk.
Kind of like beach housey vibe.
Running, you can't stop. You contemplate with these strange thoughts. But the deeper you go, you can't help but feel
That's full on.
lost. Is this real or not? Is this real or not? So is
Wow, that's a lot of.
real or not?
A little distance.
Right, Jokerhead. He's screaming in the chat right now.
You
Red.
can't exist
public in the chat room.
in nothingness. To be is the only thing we know. There is nothing that's impossible. So is this real?
It's a long fade.
It is pretty long. Fish Memory, getting like a dark and depressive Mark Rebier vibe with the album
I
art.
see a little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but definitely different content. Was that Psy Gangnam Style that just played after? Anyways, um, that was enjoyable, man. I really liked a lot of different parts of that. It's like the one time I wish Dom Rocks was here philosophizing in the chat
Oh yeah,
because
definitely.
I listening to the vocals and the lyrics here. It's like I can't help but think of like atoms. What is it? The actual matter occupies like less than 1% of the space. Everything else is just empty vacuum.
Oh yeah.
So when you say there's nothingness, you can't exist in nothingness. That's a question I asked you. Like, what is this 99% of nothingness? And are we existing in it? Thoughts. Anyways, vibes. What do you got, Josh?
Yeah, it's super cool. I mean, it's I don't really know what I guess you've called it alternative here, and that
Mhm.
is fitting. But it's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's a big umbrella, but yeah,
It's an interesting genre. Like, it gives me what would that be, like 70s vibes, sort of.
yeah.
Maybe it's
Answer the
later.
poll, by the way.
Yes, the poll is still up. Yeah, answer that, please.
Joker said, "Did you get my bribe?"
No,
Just don't get my bribe.
I don't think you've.
Just
Have
don't
you?
kill my
He's
bribe.
tipped us before, but it's not real
Yeah.
lately.
Did you send us a Bitcoin? Like, what happened this time? Like,
Yeah, he's like, I
what
sent a
currency?
Bitcoin. It got lost in transit. I forgot which country I live in.
Yeah, something like that. Any feedback on the mix? Yes, I definitely have some feedback on the mix, and we'll get there in the
Oh
production
my god!
category.
Wait,
What?
shocker!
What?
Jokerhead actually did donate, but
Ah!
only $3. Jokerhead, you're on the stream every week.
Damn, Jokerhead, you know,
A
bro.
$5 minimum.
$5
So
minimum.
actually, we've had people do this before. They donate $1 and they realize it's five, and they donate four. So Jokerhead, you have time if you want to donate that extra $2 to make it
Yeah,
fair.
that's true.
Uh, but yeah. So sorry, what were you saying?
They just said any feedback on the mix, and I was like, yeah, we get to that in the production, and but yeah, we can talk about it in vibes too. Just we go through our first impressions with the vibes first,
Yeah.
so we'll get to it. But yeah, did I interrupt you in vibes? What else? You said 70s vibes.
Yeah, it's just like it's a cool sort of classic vibe. It's
Yeah.
very makes you think, kind of like not like trippy, but it's like I don't know, sort of surreal or something like that.
No, yeah. This gives me like I want to say is it Frank Collins? Am I just like
Phil
dumb right
Collins,
now? Thank you, Phil Collins. I was like, am I just
Frank
that sounds
Zappa, Phil Collins.
I was thinking that Frank Zappa. Yes,
Yeah,
I was thinking Frank Zappa and Phil Collins.
yeah,
But
it's funny.
also in the beginning, I was thinking more like Mac DeMarco almost, maybe even Beach House,
Yeah.
something like that. But I think the instrumentation that was picked definitely sounded from like an older time. And there was one part of the song where I thought things kind of sounded stock. So I felt like the Beach House kind of sounds more like uh, modern synths kind of quality versus Frank Collins, Phil Collins, or Frank
Frank
Sinatra.
Zappa,
Yeah, I was gonna say Frank Sinatra.
Sinatra.
Yeah, definitely not Sinatra, but Frank Zappa. It's like that more kind of like elementary kind of synth sound. So it definitely fit on the earlier side to me, but that's okay. Mix wise, there was parts where I think it could have just sounded bigger. Um, and I just want to get to like what they're asking specifically right away, because there's points where I think you can have really big moments, and you do content wise, like when it's like, "Is this real?" Right, like and like the vocal sounds great. Everything instrumentation and composition wise, I think is beautiful, and you have these crazy dissonant things that are happening, and they sound pretty tasteful. Jokerhead in this case, not just thrown about willy nilly. Like it's there to make like a difference. And the poll's done 50 by the way. One vote in, one vote other way.
Oh boy.
Um, but yeah, so I think the biggest thing for me mix wise, I think everything kind of sit where it needs to. Maybe I think there's pads that you had pushed out to the sides, and I think that's the right thing to do. I think they could be dramatically pushed out maybe more, and then also brought up in volume just to like make it sound as big as I want it to sound. Um, but yeah, those are my vibes, first impressions. Do you have a score?
Uh, I like it. I mean, I think there are like some issues with probably. mostly on the mixing side that could make this more polished,
Yeah.
which would bring it up a lot. But I
Yeah.
think as it is right now, I'd probably give it like a 80% between developing good to go. I,
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, song wise, I think this is really cool. Um, I think vibes will give it like 84 between yellow and green. I think that's the highest score of vibes for the night, by the
Might
way.
be, yeah.
For content, what do you got?
Uh, yeah, and then I think the content is what drives it here. It's like a really cool song. Like, I think your album art looks pretty compelling. It looks like, pretty professional and in
Yeah,
line with the style that you're going after.
yeah.
Good
Very
good
existential, yeah.
yeah, existential is the word. And the song goes along with that too. I think it all works together as a package, and yeah.
Dude, this Jokerhead guy gotta be joking, right? He's used our fucking form before. What is happening?
Well, he already
Why is
has a
he?
song in our queue. Do you not want us to use that one, Jokerhead?
Use the words. Anyways, do you give the score for vibes? Sorry, I cut you off.
I didn't give us. Yeah, I did
Oh,
a
you did.
score
You
for
did.
as we were talking about content.
Content. Yes.
But yeah, I didn't have much else. What do you got?
Yeah, I think the content of the song lyrically was, I think, compelling. It made me ask questions back, and I think that's kind of like the point of art. You posit something, an image or imagery, perhaps an idea, and then I think the best type of art is where there's a response. And so I think you achieved that. That was cool. I didn't think it felt like corny or anything like that. I think some of the instrument choices, synths wise, sounded a little dated. I think the piano. I feel like I've heard that piano addictive key set
Mhm.
preset. I don't know if I'm gonna like call you out on that because I've used the same one, or maybe
Curious
like a
if that's
Logic piano.
correct.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I just feel like those are tones that are kind of tried. I don't want to say tried and true, but played out. Maybe
Those
is
are
the
different, but yeah,
yeah, exactly. Like tried and true is like good. Played
yeah.
out is like not good. So that's the kind of thing that I'm feeling. But yeah, notes and composition wise, I think this is fantastic. And vocals, I liked a lot. And yeah, you said you'll increase the pad volume for sure. I think you have room for that. Like the vocals sound very present, and I think they're like the loudest thing in the mix.
It's from
Um,
Korg M1. It's not. I mean, pianos in all
Korg
fairness,
M1. I see. I
yeah, a
see.
lot of them do sound similar, but
Yeah. Korg. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Sounds similar, but yeah. So content. Yeah, there's a lot to like, and there's like the kind of dated synths. I didn't get bored at all. Um, yeah, as an artist, I think you have something special, and I would love to hear more of your music. I think it's cool. So all that factored into my score, content wise. I think I like this a lot. I think I'm at like 88 between yellow and green. What about you?
yeah, I think I could echo that. The song
JXCC,
itself
what's up?
is super cool.
Mm. Now
Um,
production, what you got?
yeah, and then for production, I think the main thing that I'm hearing that's a little bit of like a sort of amateurism giveaway
Mhm.
is just the sort of leveling of the vocal, like integrating the vocal into the rest of the track.
Sounds
Right
like
now,
it's sitting on top, right?
yeah, it sounds like a home recording a little bit that's sitting on top.
Hmm.
And I think honestly there are three components that sort of go with this. One of them is the vocal delivery itself is super important here, right? I think there are certain giveaway like you that's the one thing you have to everybody has to work on to sort of make sound as professional as possible. Oh, Chris cut out there but came back.
Sorry.
Uh, but I don't think I heard that issue here. I'm just saying that when you've got a recording that sounds a little bit more amateur, it can bring out any sort of amateurisms of the vocal delivery itself, and that's sort of a general recommendation. But then, Chris, are you frozen? I think you might be frozen. Um, then the recording is another aspect. So, like the mic you're using, obviously, how close or far away you are from it. All those factors determine how professional you're going to sound. And if you're in like a room that has weird like reverberances or spatial effects, like again, like room nodes, like we talked about earlier.
Mhm.
And the third thing is just actually mixing the vocal into the track. So, frequency wise, does it fit with other things? Is there room for it? But also like volume wise, you don't want it to be way above the levels of everything else. So I think for this, maybe I'm hearing a little bit of each of those, but the main thing is just the mixing side. So there's different ways to do this. I mean, probably bringing the level down a little bit of the vocal and maybe adding a little bit of room, like like reverb, like a wider tail reverb or delay could help to integrate it a little bit better into the mix. And send it through some buses, like at the sort of almost at the master bus stage that integrate it better with other instruments too. But if it's just like your track and all the instrumentation, and then your vocal is like totally separate, and they only meet at the mix bus. There's no like reverbs that they share, or anything like that. It's going to sound a little bit disjoint.
Hmm.
Also, if there's not enough room carved out in the mix for it, and you have to turn up for it to be audible, that's when you're going to get that sitting on top of the mix instead of sitting in the mix type thing. So yeah, that's my main sort of feedback with that. What do you got for production?
Um, yeah, I definitely agree with your feedback. Sorry, I clicked Jokerhead's track and like my internet died.
Oh
So
shit!
take it up with
Did
Jokerhead.
he put like a
It,
Trojan virus in it?
I don't know. It's called Blackout. So
Oh fuck!
coincidence? Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
Be careful. Um, recording and mixing it. No, yeah, I think um, just talking about those bands that I've listed, specifically like Phil Collins or Beach House. Um, and they have the song Space Song. I fucking love that song. But yeah, I'll use the example. Even the album art, it like gives me this kind of space, like atmospheric kind of vibe. I would expect the kind of timbre of the song to feel big and expansive. But the vocals almost, it felt like they had like no reverb on it. It was like very upfront
Yeah,
compared to everything else. And if you want like a big expansive sound, that's what I want out of this track too. I want it to be like epic. Um, I
it has
think
to be sparse enough to do that too, though. Like if you want
correct.
to add those reverbs, you have to make sure there's not a lot of stuff just
Yep,
cluttering your mix in general, because then it's going to sound worse.
yep. Um, so yeah, I'll just add that 2 cents. In most agreement with what Josh is saying for production. Uh, and I talked about the sample. I guess the samples, the synths would be more content. So production, I think it might be the lowest score for me, but not too low. To be honest, it still like is pretty enjoyable to listen to. Um, I talked about that pad being those pads being increased just to make it sound bigger as well. So total, I think I'm at like maybe 65% between yellow and green for production. Pretty good. What about you?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, I'll say 65 too. It's not bad overall. It's really just integrating your vocal into the mix and making it sound like that sort of reverb washed aesthetic if you want. It doesn't have to be super dramatic today, especially with modern sort of standards, but
Yeah,
it needs to sound more integrated into the mix for sure.
for sure. Track total. I got I said 88 or I said what like 80 something, 88 and then 60. This is all like I think I'll just give it like an 80. I think it's a pretty cool song. Actually, I like it a lot. Just some things holding it back production wise. So yeah, 80 between green and yellow. What about you?
Yeah, I think 80 is fair. I think it's for me it's in like the upper 80s when you just consider the track itself and the artistry and the potential kind of.
Yeah,
And then it sort of falls a little below that, gets dragged down by just the production not making it sound as professional as it could.
the
Uh,
engineering.
yeah,
Yes.
I think you're like on the track to that. It really needs to like shed some of the amateur giveaways, which always happen, not always, but usually happen with like the vocals and the integration of the vocals and the professionalism of the performance and how it's any sort of inconsistencies are addressed or hidden as well as possible. So yeah, I think you're on the track, and I'm excited
The
to
fast
hear
track.
you work on it. Yeah, on the fast track.
Yes, sir. Shout out to you, Wild Boars. Appreciate you. Love your music. The composition was phenomenal. Yeah, come back with more music. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah, definitely. Uh,
Jokerhead,
and
if you fucking dare, bruh, I'm gonna strangle you because last time I heard Ultraviolence, we said subtle changes. You getting a fucking new ass vocal that's probably in the wrong key
God,
is gonna take 20 steps back.
yeah,
No way.
Lana sued you.
Yeah, she
Nice.
should. She should.
Rightfully so.
Defamation. But anyways, so we're gonna take Jokerhead's track here.
Is it the one in the queue or
He said use the one in the link,
that he
and I
sent?
yeah, and I got it open right now. So
Am I getting a
hopefully,
virus,
yeah,
Jokerhead?
I'm hoping not. But
I
here, let
already
me.
have one. I don't need another.
Yeah, for real.
Okay,
Okay,
true
it works for
stories from
you. That's
Huntington.
fine.
Fucking ads, dude. Okay, by the way, fuck SoundCloud. We don't have to use it once we go to our own platform. So sign up for it. I mean, you don't have to sign up for it now, but you can if you want to.
Yep.
Uh, and otherwise, like, ideally, fingers crossed, next week we're gonna start using our own system to manage the queue and stuff. So you'll be able to see the queue
Oh
and
yeah.
see where you at are at where you at in the
Where
queue.
you at? Yeah.
And reuse your info when you're signing up again. So it'll be like way faster and easier, and you'll get notified when you get reviewed. So that's coming up. Stay tuned for that. Follow us on Twitch if you want to get notified when we stream next week.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yes.
let's go into this blackout. Yes, I've got it.
This is a pre-omelet. What does that even mean?
Pre-omelet. An omelet before the omelet.
Quick, work in progress. No description. What stage is this at? Josh, you ready?
Yep, let's do it.
Blackout. 3, 2, 1.
Says work in progress.
Very high Q pluck there.
There's like a tube that makes that sound. Like any PVC tube makes that sound.
Yeah.
Jesus. I just turned down a lot, Joker head. Just broke my ears. Cool ring modulation sound.
It's a little too bright sounding. Very.
Yeah,
It's coming on the
bright.
40 side. Yeah.
Cutting my eardrums out.
The bass itself is cool. It's just too bright. Very different.
Hearing damage.
That sounds awesome.
Brain damage.
And this guy in the picture is literally me, bro. Everything's so bright. Everything going on. Professional management to get like that there to be the loud.
Why is it so long? Like, this is only 2 minutes. It feels like
That's metal grinding. You're a robot. Man, dude, it's so dissonant and so bright.
Yeah, I
It's
don't know if I heard as much distance, but dude, I literally turned down about 10 dB for that.
yeah. It's like I feel like it's like a comedy horror movie because like the basses, I think the instruments by themselves are like pretty cool instruments, but they're just so bright and like dry and like no kind of processing has been done on them to make it feel dark and sinister that I feel like it kind of begs to be. I mean, Jokerhead's always in this genre of what is it called? I just I forgot it.
Spooky core. I
Not
don't know.
spoopy core. This is like spoopy core, you know.
Spooky.
It's called something. But it's I always say Carpenter Brute because he's my favorite artist in the genre. Where it's like very dark, like murder music. That's always like serial killer fucking album art that's happening here. I was joking that this guy is literally me listening to this song, just like oh my god, just trying to stab people. But yeah, then it's like weirdly bright. So I don't know. The album art kind of fits it a lot actually. Um, but yeah, it's just so bright sounding. It sounds farty. That it's
Mm.
just kind of it's more comedic to me than what I think it is trying to go for, which is like more dark, sinister, and hard hitting. Like the foundation for that kind of stuff is there. It's just it was just everything was left on dry, um, and everything kind of just sounded stock. So yeah, that's the kind of first impression vibes there. As Josh said, I had to turn down too. At some points, it hurt to listen to
Look at that
just
block,
sonically.
that waveform block.
Yeah. Oh yeah, boy, we love to hear it. No, we don't. Josh, what do you have for first impressions vibes?
Uh, yeah, I think what we should suggest, Jokerhead, for you specifically, because we've heard this, over the years or whatever it's been, a
Cool,
lot.
cool.
Yeah, what does that even mean? We've heard this like a lot, but very bright, very bright tracks from you. I think you should probably put like just a spectral analyzer on your output bus and like check it against a reference that's something
Carpenter
similar
Brute.
to your, yeah, sure, put a Carpenter Brute song in there and check it against that, and just adjust. He says, "What? We know, dude. I can't tell if you're serious or not, but like, if that's the case, just look at the fucking meter and turn down those high frequencies because it's so cutting and bright.
Yeah,
It's got to be that 5 to 7 kilohertz range that's like digging into our eardrums.
yeah.
It just makes it unlistenable. Like
It's where the
honestly,
human fart lives.
there's so many. I mean, it's kind of obvious, but like you could ask anybody, like just have anybody listen to this, and they'll be like, "Holy fuck, it's so my ears hurt." Do a survey of 10 people. 10 out of 10 people say this is too bright. Like,
Ouch.
it's not. There's no debate here at all. It's too bright, and there's just. I don't know if it's because of EQ or because you put saturation, which turns into distortion with limiting and compression. All that stuff just equals generating more overtones, which are high frequencies, little jagged waveforms that are tearing our ears apart.
Them
So
saws. Yeah.
yeah, was it blueprints? I can't read that text on this
B.
background.
Lou Prince. Hey guys, skip. Are you skipping the
Skip,
song or skipping me?
skipping this song. What is
No,
up?
wait, bro. Sorry, I said the
Do
tip
you
quick,
have a
but this is the last song of the night. Yeah.
Do you have a track
You
in the queue? Have you submitted anything?
what I miss?
You say what I
Run
missed.
it,
Run it
run
back.
it back.
What is
I don't know
going
if we
on?
can. Uh,
Uh, yeah, you
nah,
can.
we'll save your ears at least. Like, there's cool stuff musically, but oh my god, like just
Right.
timbre wise, it hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, you you can tip, but you're not going to get reviewed today. We're
yeah.
actually past the end of our streaming time. We're just finishing up this track. We stream
Sorry,
for
B.
2 hours from like 5:30 to 7:30 Central Time every Friday. So we will be back next week. If you follow us on Twitch, you'll find out about that.
Yeah,
Um, and we'll have an email notification system soon. So
have a good night
otherwise, see you next week, hopefully.
for
But
sure.
anyways, Jokerhead. Let's just give our thoughts and scores.
Thanks for stopping by, B. Lou. Appreciate you. Anyways,
Yes.
yeah,
It's too bright. It's like it just cuts your ears apart, and there's some cool stuff in there. There's like the second
really,
half kind of changes, and there's like that stuff,
yeah.
and the beat changes. So I like that. If it was mixed to be more listenable, it might be kind of interesting, if not a little bit stock. But yeah, I don't know. You got anything else before we give scores for vibes?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think a lot of the instruments that are chosen have the potential to sound really cool. They're just so dry and bright right now. They sound farty. So yeah, take the advice that Josh said about the spectrum analyzer. Um, yeah, and take a reference artist that you really love, or what I really love, Carpenter Brute, and yeah, take notes from them. Um, yeah, there's really cool aspects here and there. Some points though, I felt lost about what you were doing. Like sometimes it was just a cacophony of noise. Um, so I'm hoping that you can. I wish I could like timestamp it. If only there was some platform that I could timestamp where I think it's good and where I think it's not so good, such that you could take your feedback and be more actionable about it. Um, that'll be soon, perhaps. But yeah, there's just like some parts I think you hit kind of gold. It sounds great, and then some parts where it's just this is noise. This note sounds wrong. Oh, he hit another wrong note. Oh man, this sounds farty. It's like, oh wait, this is cool. So yeah, it's all over the place for me right now. And it hurts to listen to volume wise and brightness. So overall vibes, I'm at Um, where would I be? Maybe like 15% between green and yellow. What about you?
Uh, yeah, I think I'd probably say the same for
And
vibes.
any free plugins of what spectrum analyzers?
I was gonna say for spectrum analyzers, I think I remember this was a long time ago, but
Yeah, I think
Blue Cat Audio has some free ones. I think that's what they specialize in, and I'm sure there's
Isotope
others
has
out
one
there.
too.
They might. Is that free?
I I think they were giving it out free for at one point, but
I don't know if they have a spectrum analyzer, but doesn't Sound Toys have a bunch of free stuff?
there's definitely some sort of like free or cheap spectrum analyzer out there, Jokerhead.
There's a flash sale at Sound Toys.
Oh yeah,
Do they have analyzers though? I'm not sure.
I forget
Maybe not.
isotope. Yeah, we'll see. But
Yeah.
yeah, like do some googling. They're out there.
Compressors and reverbs more so. Interesting.
Yeah, but you need to like that's what you use parametric EQ, sure, but like you need to like compare it with a reference song that you think sounds really good.
Yeah, just do some googling. I mean, like there are plugins I think that can take two tracks and compare them to like in the same frame probably. But the easier way, like just put a stock EQ uh plugin on your output bus, or versus the other track, and just see what they look like. Like you should be able to see, especially in the loudest parts of the song, where there are major differences, very obvious differences in the shape of that EQ curve that's being analyzed. So yeah, I think most DAWs will show you, have a spectrum analyzer. I don't know what you use though. I don't use all DAWs, so I don't know, but I know that
Yeah.
Logic has that.
Yeah, using BandLab. What are you? Just kidding. Propeller reason.
Propeller,
Yeah, I don't know.
propeller head. Yeah,
But anyways, what are we on? Content? Yeah, content.
yeah. I don't know, dude. Like the first half is like, holy shit, this feels like it's going on forever, even though it was like I was like a minute and a half in or something.
Hmm.
Uh, that's not
And
good.
then something cool happens,
Yeah, and
and
then
then it's like
something cool
okay,
happens, right? So make the
yeah,
cool part happen earlier, have more variation. Right now you've got a fucking brick, an absolute
a
brick,
dawn, a cereal. I don't know what that means.
bro.
I missed
Like on a
something.
little card, like you get like every what was it? Was it Reason?
I got the Happy Meal daw.
For the past like 10 years, like every fucking piece of music hardware you buy comes with propeller head Reason.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, oh my god, they really have to push that thing.
Oh,
It's
what else?
crazy.
Yeah, what else was there? Pressinus.
What
Pressinus? You've heard of Pressinus?
the fuck is that?
You haven't heard of Pressinus? All right,
That's
I'll
not
get
a
back.
real word. That can't be real.
I'll get back. Yeah, I'll get back to you.
It sounds like an adjective.
Pressinus. It's a music company.
How the fuck do you spell that?
Pres-
Personas?
Personas. Fuck me.
Bro, you
Whatever.
did not just say Pressinus. Get the
All
fuck
right.
out of
I'll see
here.
myself out. All right, Jokerhead, let's go.
Pressinus. Oh my
We don't
god.
need Josh. We don't need Josh.
Okay, let's do another
Let's
poll.
get out of here.
Pressinus or Presonus?
Presonus.
That's
Yeah.
fucking hilarious.
I
Okay.
feel like Presonus putting like free shit out everywhere.
Dude,
Anyways.
Presonus makes like Avid or no,
You
Presonus
just
makes
said Presonus, you fucker.
what? Presonus. It's
Wait.
not Presonus.
Oh my god.
You can
Okay,
say
whatever. I was
Presonus. It
like
doesn't have to be
Presonus.
Presonus, but the
Okay.
sonus part is like the obvious part. Sonus.
Okay. All right.
Sonus.
Presonus. Anyways,
God. It sounds like
Presonus.
prescient or something, like some other word. Uh
Presonus.
no, they make all sorts of legit stuff. Propellerhead is a joke though.
I see.
Anyways, content, yeah, dude, it goes on for a long time and then it gets cool. So bring the cooler stuff further forward,
Yep.
and
We
make
tried to
it less
identify what they
biting.
were.
Yeah, the problem here is like not primarily the content, it's the mixing. So yeah,
Yeah. I think there's some parts where it's cacophonous and then it just drags on and it's like, why am I here? And then something cool
cacophonous.
happens.
Yes.
So, um, yeah, maybe next time when we can timestamp your track and stuff, we can get more. But yeah, just try to listen to when we said, "Ooh, this was cool." Ooh, what is going on? And then work from there.
Bro, this is
Uh,
hilarious.
what?
Preston is oh my god. They have so many pop-ups and shit. Like you go to their website, there's like a big privacy thing, and there's
Mhm.
before there was a big like cookies thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not showing that tab.
Oh
But
my god, yeah, it's doing it.
anyways, yeah, don't sell
Um,
my information. Thanks.
content here. There's some cool stuff. Yeah, I think most of the you're right, Josh. I think most of the problems is in
I was
production, but
crossing the
there are still
street when they
problems with content. When it's cacophonous, it's hard to listen to. So maybe like 45 between yellow and green for content. What about you?
Yeah, I think that's accurate. I like the second like piece. The first part isn't bad; just goes on like way too long, right?
Yeah.
Less is more often with these kind of things. So,
Yeah, I
uh,
don't think we ever got any sort of reprieve, Jokerhead. There's like breakdown after like halftime to like double time. It's like there was no like reprieve. Look at the waveform. It's a brick after
it's a
that
brick.
first section. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it was like a
give
big,
us
it
some
was
rest.
a huge jump between before that and after. It was like, oh my god, turned down quickly.
Shut down for what? All right. Anyways,
Chaotic, yes.
yeah.
Self
Production.
aware. Uh, yeah, and then production is yeah. It's we talked about it. It's biting. You
Yeah.
just please before you submit another song, prove it to us that you have downloaded a spectral analyzer and have compared, and tell us what your top 3 learnings are.
Yep. If we could assign you
That's your
tasks
homework. Yeah.
in the project management section of
Down for
FastTrack.studio,
what?
it
Yeah.
would be download Spectrum Analyzer, feed song through
And
it.
compare it to a reference track,
Yes,
and then
but
make the changes. Like, I wonder what this would sound like if it was more,
Mozart. Do not compare it
mellow
to a Mozart song.
to Mozart. What the fuck? This
uh,
guy knows these classical people.
what do you mean Mozart? Who's he under a rock?
Kavinsky is not one people know.
Oh, Kavitsky. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Anyways, production it needs work. Um, I don't know. You still make some sounds sound fat, but some sounds sound fat, farty, and harsh.
Organic.
Yeah, or very organic. I think this is a 69
Uh,
at between red
oh,
and
he
orange,
sampled his
red and yellow.
toilet. The toilet should not is the. Have you been using your toilet as a reference track?
Yeah,
It's
your
not good.
bunghole.
Oh God. It's
Anyways,
getting late here.
I'm hungry,
Um,
bro.
clearly.
Yeah,
Let's see.
they ain't paying us over here, bro. No,
Yeah,
just kidding.
barely.
Well, Jokerhead did, so thank you, Jokerhead.
True, true.
Yeah,
Uh, okay, so it's too bright. Fix that. It's like the
yeah,
main thing. There's not a whole lot else because there's not a whole lot else going on here. Less
mhm,
limiting, please, too. So it's not a brick wall.
yeah. Less limiting. Yeah, yeah. You already said too bright. Okay, that'll fix it. Cool.
Yes.
I
Okay.
will sort that shit out literally. Track total. I'm at, I think like 20% between, 15% between yellow and green. What about you?
Yeah. I'm gonna say 9% between yellow and green because it hurt my ears.
6.9% between yellow and green, baby.
Yep.
All right. That's the show, everybody.
Wait, was that the track total or production?
Oh, that was track total. Production was a 69 between red and yellow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
probably a
I
little harsh.
agree
I
with
think it's
that.
more yellow. Yeah. But
Yeah, sure.
it's a potential well with 69. So,
Yeah, okay. Those
yeah.
scores make sense.
Yeah.
All right. Bet.
Cool. Thanks guys. Track total you said 92.
No,
Gaslighting us.
for real. All right, cool. Well, thank you, Jokerhead. Please get that spectrum analyzer. And for everyone, hope that this was helpful,
Informative, yeah.
that the feedback that you got was useful. It seemed like some of it was, at least, which is good.
Mhm.
We are here every Friday from 5:30 Central, 5:30 to 7:30 Central, on Twitch,
We the
obviously.
best.
We're rolling out our platform, which next week we should be using. That link is in the chat, to manage the queue and then some other features. And you can actually set up your account and set up your profile at that point too. So that's
Yeah.
going. And do follow us on Instagram. That's up there. Join our Discord, which we'll put in the chat, and follow us on Twitch so you know when we go live. But I think that's about it for me. You got anything else?
Nope. Goods out of here. I'm hungry.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone. We will see you again next week for some very exciting stuff, hopefully with the Fast Track platform.
Yep.
And yeah, looking forward to it. Have a
Yep.
great weekend, everyone.
Ye-
Happy music making.
Peace.
Peace.